the main event, we talked on Tuesday about our #2 event, which is going to be an absolute cracker, the interim WBO super welterweight title between Liam Smith and Liam Williams. I think that's going to be an outstanding fight. Terry Flanagan against Petr Petrov. Terry, according to the bookies, a red-hot favourite, but according to Art Palulo and Peter, of course, they say that the odds are completely wrong, and Art will tell you for himself in a minute, who's managing Petr Petrov, that he thinks this is a pick and fight, and there's nothing easy when you get to this sort of level, Frank, because for Peter, you know, Terry's making his 5th defence of the WBO lightweight title, but for Peter, I mean, this is a fantastic opportunity.
Well, it is, and I think you know, Peter is the best lightweight out there who's not a world champion, and I'm not saying he's a potential banana skin, because, you know, Terry picked him. I didn't want the fight. Steve knows that. Steve made it as his trainer. He talked about it with his manager, Steve Wood, and for me, I weren't really too keen on the fight. But that tells you what Terry's all about. He wanted what he calls the fear factor, and he's decided, he made the final decision. So he's got a tough fight out there. In an ideal world, I wouldn't be doing it, but he's got a tough fight, and if he comes through this fight, it opens the doors to some real great opportunities. And Terry's probably the most underestimated fighter in the country. He's 32-0. He's got the longest winning streak of any British boxer. This is sixth world title. Fifth defence coming up. 5th defence coming up. And, you know, when he won the world title, it was under sort of pretty odd or weird conditions. The guy in the second round, he had a problem with his shoulder, but the first round, I thought Terry was doing, you know, really was doing well, holding his own, and he went into that fight as an underdog. And then the first defence was a tough defence for him. I mean, you know, you look at the guy he went in with. He went and done the absolute business on him, on Magdaleno, and again he went in there as an underdog. And I thought that was the best performance by a British boxer of 2015. I thought it was fantastic what he'd done. And since then he's had a few defences, but I've got to be honest about it. It was like he couldn't get up for him, and I was quite, you know, what do you do? You know, what do we do about it? And we were sort of treading water, waiting to do the BT deal. So it was one of those situations for all of us. But now he's on the big platform. He's got the opportunity now to show what he does when he gets in the ring, because he may not be the most vociferous, he may not be the Jack the Lad outside the ring and say all the things that people say in this day and age to get attention to himself. But what he does, he does all his talking and all what he has to do in the ring. And when he gets in the ring, he's got the platform now to go out there and say, right, I'm going to win this fight, and I'll win it. As he said to me, he wants Lomachenko or Linares, and my job, providing he comes through this tough fight, is to deliver that for the summer.
How realistic is that? I mean, Linares, we saw him against Anthony Crolla, and looking at a very good fighter indeed. How realistic is it to get him here? Maybe.
It's very realistic, but the thing is, we don't want to count our chickens, and I know that Steve and Terry won't be counting their chickens. He's got to get through this fight first of all. But if he gets through this, we'll have enough to make one of those fights. He actually asked me to fight Lomachenko, and I'm like, because you know, I'm not making no secret. I think Lomachenko's probably the best fighter out there, but he wants to.
Well, we'll hear from Terry himself about that in a moment. But prior to that, I mentioned Art Palulo, who's been in the sport for a few years now. He's similar vintage to me and Frank. He goes back a while, and for those of you who don't know, he used to be long associated with the Blue Horizon, the legendary fight venue in Philadelphia, which was the place which was used in the Rocky films. And sadly, the place no longer being used for boxing for a complicated set of reasons. But he's a guy who's absolutely steeped in boxing in the United States, and he's been working with Peter. So, and I know you've had a few things to say about him in the run-up to this fight. Tell us your perspective of how you think this fight's going to go, and tell us a bit about what it's like working with this fella.
Well, first I want to say thanks to Frank and BT. I'm going to get into it about Peter in a few minutes, but I want to say something about Terry Flanagan too. He's an undefeated champion. I've been doing this for over 30 years, like Frank. Pretty hard to beat a guy who's undefeated, because he's never tasted a defeat. He knows what it is to win. It's going to be a great fight. For Frank to start his business with BT with this fight, his guy's in harm's way. But that's what it's all about. It's fan-friendly, it's TV-friendly, and this is what they pay the money for, to see these young kids in the ring. It's going to be a great fight. I've been coming to England for 30 years and never had anything but a fair shake and a good relationship with Frank and all the people over here. I do better here than I do at home sometimes with the own judges, so you never know how things work out. But I just want to tell you guys, you're in for a real treat. I know you know that. Frank did a hell of a deal for you guys. It's a great fight. Terry Flanagan is a very good fighter. I saw him fight. I was here last time on a show with Frank. I had another fighter over here, and he was in the main event, and he tore apart Aram's guy. I can't remember his name, Magdalene. Yeah, he destroyed him. So it's going to be a good fight. As far as Peter's concerned, I met Peter about 3 years ago with Alice Campanova, who's my partner. We have a tournament that we run in the United States called Boxino. And Peter went right through Boxino. Peter wasn't supposed to win Boxino. Supposed to lose to the Fedosov, the kid from Russia first, then in the finals to Karkamov, but destroyed them all. He's won 6 in a row. And in order to get this fight, he fought a kid that was with Oscar and Perez in Palm Springs, and he quit on the stool. It's a good fight. This is a very good fighter, and he feels it's his time. Terry feels it's his time to go forward. That's what it's all about. Two at the very best of what they do. At the moment they climb in the ring, they think it's going to be their time.
You told me you thought that this is a pick and fight.
Absolutely.
What's Peter bring? For those who've not seen him, what can we expect?
Experience, patience. He knows his craft. He's had over 34 fights. The one he lost to I'm sorry. My memory's gone, Frank, over the year. Madonna was last-minute scenario for the Madonna fight, right, on a 2 weeks' notice, and he took it for the money. I wasn't with him at that time. He wouldn't have taken it if I was with him. But at the end of the day, he knows he's in a fight that he has to win. It means everything to both of their careers. That's the key. One guy's 27, he wants to go on. Another guy's 34, he has to go on. That's what it's about. So it's going to be an interesting fight. And 8-1, since I'm not allowed to bet in America, because the promoters are not allowed to bet, I have to take a bet here because I'm allowed to bet. But if in America, if I bet, they would take my license away, because you can't do it there. But since I'm over here and it's not my show, Frank, I'm going to have to put some money on the fight. But you're going to have a great fight, and I appreciate everything. And this young fella, he knows what he has to do. And that young fella, he knows what he has to do. It's going to be a great opportunity for both of them. Thank you.
Training's been concluded in Madrid, is it not? And prior to that, you were training in the States.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereabouts have you been working?
California, Santa Fe Springs.
Yeah.
In California, Santa Springs.
And how are you feeling?
I feel great.
You worked harder than ever.
¿Has trabajado más fuerte que nunca?
He trabajado como siempre, pero mejor.
I've worked like I always have, but a little bit better this time because I know it's a full time.
How much of an opportunity is this? Do you see this as the last big throw of the dice? Is this one you absolutely have to win? Otherwise, maybe you're not going to get another opportunity like this?
¿Tú crees que esta sería tu última oportunidad, que es la oportunidad más importante de tu carrera?
Yo creo que es la pelea de mi carrera, pero yo nada más que pienso ahora mismo en esa pelea, no pienso en el futuro, en lo que va a pasar.
This is definitely the biggest fight of my career, but I'm not thinking about the future. I'm just thinking about Saturday night. I worked my whole life for this moment.
And what do you think about Terry?
Okay.
He's obviously a very good champion, but what do you think about him as a fighter?
¿Qué piensas de Terry Flanagan? Obviamente no ha sido derrotado nunca, pero ¿qué piensas de Terry Flanagan?
No, tengo que respetarlo porque él es el campeón, él es invicto, tiene 32 peleas que nunca ha perdido, así que yo lo respeto como un campeón invicto.
I have to respect him like undefeated champion that he is. He's got 32 fights, he's never lost, so I do have a lot of respect for him.
So if you can look into a crystal ball, as we say over here, and predict the future, what do you think is going to happen on Saturday night?
Si tuvieras una bola de cristal, ¿qué te lo podrías predecir para lo que va a pasar el sábado noche?
Lamentablemente no la tengo, pero yo vengo aquí a ganar.
Unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball, but I know I'm here and I'm gonna win. I'm here to win.
He's got support.
Yeah.
I'd get fined for that, Frank. I can't say anything at all. I can't say anything at all.
Well, Terry and Steve alongside you, listening to the guys talking there and hearing them speak, it's very obvious, Terry, that you've got to be on your game on Saturday night, haven't you? Because this guy's really here to win and fancies his chances.
Yeah, of course, he's boxed for world titles before, so he's bound to be coming overconfident and thinking he's going to win. It's an hard fight, like Frank said, it's the hardest fight out there. Well, people want to see good fights, 50-50 fights, and I said who's the best out there available, and it was Peter, so we chose that fight.
Steve, I know you'll have studied him long and hard. You've heard their perspective of what he brings. What do you think Terry's got to cope with on Saturday night? How's he going to approach the fight?
He's definitely tough. I've been watching him for over, say, a year and a half, 2 years. It got mentioned when we fought Magdaleno. There was mentions of him being made mandatory then, so watched him for a long time. He's highly experienced. The travelling over here won't bother him because he's travelled all his career. So we're just expecting a good, tough pro, not bringing many skills or like anything we've not seen before, so we're ready.
And how will this rank compared with the other fights that Terry's had? Do you reckon, are you going into this thinking this guy potentially is the hardest defence that Terry's had?
Yeah, this is Terry's hardest opponent, definitely. That is going to face. Again, experience is a key thing in professional boxing, but Terry's got skills, he's got stuff that Peter's not got. He's got hand speed, he's got work rate, he's got youth, so we're ready for him.
How is Terry? You've been with him through his career, so you'd know better than anybody how he's shaping up. How's he looking in the run-up to this?
He's where he always is. His fitness levels are amazing. He's strong, probably the strongest 10 weeks ago he's ever been. He was lifting weights at 12, 13 stone, people can't lift, so he's strong, he's fit, and that's the most important thing on fight night, that you're going into that ring fit and as strong as you can be.
And Terry, I hear down at the public workout at the Printworks yesterday, I hear you got a great reception.
Yeah, it was
Manchester
good.
public's ready for you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, going out and everyone coming out to support, and yeah, I really did enjoy it. I'm glad everyone got out, and hopefully they can come out again on Saturday night and show the support.
And big Tyson Fury put in an appearance?
Yeah, Tyson is a nice guy, Tyson, and chatted to him a few times, and yeah, he's a top fella. I'm glad he come on.
Now, I know that fighters hate to look beyond the next fight, but Lomachenko is fighting on Saturday night, and we've all seen Linares in action against Anthony Crolla. What would you like after this, if provided you get through this? What would your ideal route be from here?
I don't really think that far ahead. That's why I'm unbeaten. That's why I'm 32-0. Because I take each fight and the next fight, I look at that, I deal with it, and I'll win this one first, and then we'll look to see what's next. But yeah, there's been talk of through 3 fights ago these fights happening. So what's to say if I do come through this one, whether them fights are going to happen again? So it don't really matter. There's no point in thinking about it. It's just about get this one won. Next fight is the most important fight.
Is this fella going to bring out the best Terry Flanagan? We're going to see you really produce it?
I think because he'll be there before punches. He's a busy fighter. I can get him a rhythm more and box off with him, and it'll be a good boxing match rather than me chasing, trying to do all the work, forcing everything. Once we're boxing a rhythm, that's when you see me at my best.
Exciting fight, isn't it, Frank? And that's what Terry needs, as you alluded to earlier. He needs that kind of fear factor a little bit to bring out his very best.
He does, and I think we're going to see him at his best. And if he's not at his best, he's going to get beat. So he's going to have to be at his best. Simple as that.
Right. Well, that's my sort of take on it. I'm sure that you guys have got important questions for.
We're all good?
Yeah, good.
Sorry.